Good morning, everybody. It's Jean Marie. So today I'm going to work on 3 bracelets that are something we can wear for St. Patrick's Day or pretty much any day, obviously. But the little charms are kind of St. Patrick themed, but you could always add different charms, make it entirely different than that, and use it for any day use. This one is a bracelet we've made several times. I've shown it before, and I'm just using this little kind of Celtic swirl. And this one is just joining links with the lobster clasp. Pretty simple. So stay tuned and we will get started. So I think we'll start with the simplest one first. And this is the one that's just connected links. I had this little 3-to-1 connector. It's just something I've had in my stash for a very long time. Anything you have will work. These little, basically like 4-petal flowers or links of some sort that came from the Bargain Bead Box Sister Store Bead Box Bargains. These actually probably did as well. I honestly don't know though. So I have 2 of those for the ends. I have 6 of these for the bracelet. And we are going to use a bunch of head pins. Excuse me coughing. It's starting to warm up around here and everything's starting to thaw out. And I think I'm starting to get a little bit of allergies from it. I had these crystals. They did come from Bead Box Bargains. This is the store Bargain Bead Box. Quite some time ago. I don't really know how long ago. Again, something from my stash. Basically everything today is just going to get pulled from my stash. So they are a little 6x4 rondelle in this pretty little teal green, teal blue color. But use anything you have. And I do already have some off the strand to go with. So I'm going to need 4 in between each of these links. Again, I have 6 links. So I think that figured out to, I don't even remember now. It's too early in the morning for math. Let's see, what do we end up with? I guess I actually took out the right amount. Look at that. Alright, put one up here. Put that one there. These are going to have just some bicones in between them. So you're going to need 4, 8, 12, 16, so 20 of those little rondelles. Excuse me. I do have some bicones that kind of sort of match. They're not quite the same color, but they're pretty close. Close enough. We're only going to use 4 of them. And evidently I already got those ready too. Look at that. Preparing myself and I don't even remember doing it. There is the basics for this one. Get this stuff out of the way. And this is really simple. You're just going to take 2 head pins for each segment. I got these little short ones that I'm going to use for the bicones here. I'd add a couple more, but maybe not. So that's okay. You do want a pretty good sized eye on these ones. Some of these are pretty small. I'm going to switch it out for bigger ones because this piece is pretty thick. So there is those. So you're going to want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 eye pins. Oh, sorry. So you put 2 rondelles per eye pin. When you bend it, follow what we already have. You're going to want both of your links to be on the same side, your openings. So bend this way so that when you curl this around, this one is also on the bottom, same as this one. If it doesn't work out for you that way, you can always twist it with 2 pairs of pliers and get it back to where it belongs. But that is what you're going to want to do to keep them so that they lay correctly when you're putting them on your 2 links there. So then just give it a cut, and you want to cut it somewhat large. You don't really want a small, like I said, you don't want a small eye because it needs to go over these, and they're fairly chunky. So I'm going to come down to here on my pliers and give it a good big. Alright, now let me show you what I was talking about with the, if I can get it to lay flat so you can see it. Okay, both of my openings are on the bottom here, and they're in line with each other, so that when I connect them to my 2 links, it'll connect this way, like try to demonstrate. Both of them will open and close on the bottom side. You won't have any on the top. You'll have a top and a bottom to your bracelet because all your openings will be on the bottom side. Basically what I'm trying to say. Not very well, but that's what I'm trying to say. Alright, so we're going to continue doing that. For the sake of time, with 3 bracelets to make, I'm going to continue just doing all of these up. I'll do one more with you, and then I'll do the rest of them off camera. So again, make sure that my opening is at the bottom. Bend it this way, opening still being at the bottom, so that when I round this out, this one will also be on the bottom. Give it a cut. Give it a roll. And they're both. I'm trying to hold it to show you, but this thing doesn't want to hold it. There we go. They are both on the bottom side, and they're in line with each other. So that's what we're going to continue doing for the rest of these. And also with the bicones, you want that to do that the exact same way with the bicones, only it's just going to be 1 bicone on your loops. And I'll be right back. Alright, so I have all of those done. I have my last bicone, and I want to show you how to fix it if you don't roll it the correct way. So I'm going to do this one totally off from the way it's supposed to be, because a lot of times when you go to roll them, they will go the way they want to go. But we can put it back to where it belongs. Okay, you can see that this one is going this way, and this one is going this way. My opening is on that side, my opening on this one is down here. I want them to be parallel, and my opening is on the bottom here, facing me. Now this one is facing my table, so I'm just going to grip it and twist them until my pliers are even. And now they're both facing the right way, and both of my openings are on the same side. So it's a pretty simple fix. I've actually already had to do it a couple of times here, and I wanted to wait and show you guys on the last one. Alright, now it's a matter of just finding my other pliers for one thing, but hooking all of these together. And honestly, the only trick with hooking these together is just making sure that all of your openings are on the same, like when you hook this one, your opening is now on the bottom here. I don't have that closed very well, but so now when I hook the second one, I want to actually make sure that my open edge is also on the bottom here. These are really thick little links. Getting them to, there we go. Getting them to go around it sometimes is tricky. So now I have got both of these on. I know I need to close these up tighter, but you can see what I'm talking about. Both of my openings are on one side of it. So that would be the underside of the bracelet when I'm done. All of these need to face, you know, each time I make them, all of the openings need to be all on one side of the bracelet. You can see on this one, this being my top side, and then on this side you can see all of my link closures, and that's on the bottom side. And the only way you'll know the top from the bottom afterwards is that this connector, yours may be different, yours might not be one-sided, but mine is. So the inside is no print, whereas the outside is printed. So again, I'm gonna hook all of these off screen and I'll be right back. Alright, so we're at the point of our last link. You can extend this bracelet more if you wanted it to be longer, or you could always make it this length and add an extender chain to it. I actually find this bracelet to be just the right size for my wrist, which I think I wear a 7.5. So from lobster clasp to connector end, it is a 7.5-inch bracelet. So keep that in mind. All right, now we are going to just connect this very last end. So again, keeping in mind that we need the open ends of these to be our bottom side, and continuing with that, keeping them all together here. Alright, now I'm just going to add this 3-to-1 connector, and I'm working on my bottom side, so I want to attach it upside down. And you could obviously, if you had a 2-to-1 connector, that would be perfect, because that's, you know, all we're connecting, but all I had was these 3-to-1, but they're small enough so that it actually just fits right in there anyway, because they're pretty little. So there is that part done. Now at this point on this one, all I did was add a couple of jump rings to give it, you know, an optional place to clip. You could clip all the way up into the connector if you wanted to, or on either one of these rings. So we're just going to go ahead and do that, and we will need 3 jump rings. I'm going to use 2 8mm on that end and 1 6mm to attach the lobster, just because that's what came out of the package. No other reason than that. This is a really easy bracelet to put together. It goes together very, very quickly. And it's so pretty. Clearly I need to go over this one afterwards and shut my connectors a little bit better. Words are hard this morning. It's like 7:30 here. I'm not awake yet. neither are my fingers, evidently. And there we have it. One very, very pretty bracelet all done. This would be really pretty with lavender crystals or pink crystals for spring. Yeah. It's a very pretty bracelet. I'll show you what it looks like across my arm, but I can't clasp it myself. So you can see the size is just right. And it's very pretty. I love this one. Let me get up a little closer maybe. It lays really well. You could also do it with a toggle if you wanted to, or a magnetic clasp. I actually intended to do it with a magnetic clasp, but evidently I don't have any in silver. So there we have it. Two very pretty bracelets. Well, two the same bracelet. Very pretty. Let's move that one out of the way. And this will be the next one we work on. And again, we have done this before. And as I said, you don't need to add a, you know, St. Patrick-y charm if you wanted to make it with something else. But I thought we'd do this bracelet again and just do it in green this time, just to show that it's a very versatile pattern. These are Indian agate beads, and then they're just 4mm bicone crystals and some little silver spacer beads. So I took my Indian agate and I had 2 strands, and I took everything off in it because I wanted to pick out just the greenish ones, because Indian agate, if anyone knows, comes in a multitude of colors on a strand. You have lavenders and, you know, yellows, very creamy colors. So yeah, there's a lot of really pretty colors in Indian agate. These are 8mm, and I'm just going to grab out 6 green ones, 10 green ones, sorry. Now what have I got? I think I'm going to go with all dark green this time. I went with lighter green on that one. I think this time I'm going to go with darker greens. Just because I'm going to have 2 of them, they might as well be a little bit different. That was a real dark green. Actually, it's almost a brown. Alright, which ones do I want? I want that one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, and 10. All the rest of these I can take out of the way. And then we're going to take our little link. I have some dark green beading wire here. And I think that's the actual end. 1 second, I got a little bit of a snaggle here. There we go. Just cut it off. And I'm going to want 2 pieces about a foot long. It's more than I'm going to need, but I like to have plenty to work with. And now I've got the whole roll unraveling on me. And these don't have to be anywhere near exact measurements. Just cut something off that you know you're going to have enough to work with. I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to take my folded end, poke it right through the link, and pull my threads through it. I do believe that's called a lark's head knot. So we have this. And now I'm going to get out my green bicones. We're going to need a few of these, quite a few of these. Just going to cut my second strand. Oh, maybe it's not. It's already opened, I guess. Never mind that. We have got beads everywhere now. And my little silver beads. I think these are a 2mm. Maybe, well, next to that bicone, it's, yeah, I'd say they're 2mm because the bicones are a 4. And we're going to take our 2 strands. I didn't do those very well, did I? And feed on one bicone over both strands. Bring it all the way down to the end. Like this. And then put 2 bicones on each strand. And then this starts this little separation for your beads. Once you start getting everything pushed down on there, those beads will straighten right out. And they'll lay beside each other like they're supposed to, like that. Once we get it going. So now we want 1 silver bead on each one. There we go. And now we're going to take one of our agates and we're going to go in from either side, assuming I have the hole there. So that you're crossing through the bead in both directions, and bring it right down and give it a good tug. That's what's going to set everything in place. And then actually I usually just take my wire and bend it back straight like that. And then we're going to start the process over again. We're going to go with 1 silver bead on each strand. One bicone. It'd be nice if I could see the hole there. There we go. I have always worked with these rather cheap crystal bicones. I've never worked with a good one before, and I've never thought there was anything wrong with them. I always thought, wow, they're beautiful, they're consistent and everything, until recently I bought some Preciosa bicone crystals. Oh my word, what a difference. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, there truly is quite a difference here. Much cleaner cuts, much more blunt ends, more consistent in size. But these are beautiful anyway. They work great, and I think they're just as pretty. They have a lot of shine and flash to them, and they, you know, they make beautiful jewelry just the same. So this is what we've got. We've got a silver bead, a bicone, a silver bead. And now we're going to put on another agate bead. Give it a good tug. Bring my wires back up, give them a little pinch, just put them in place. And as you can see, the bracelet is starting. The crystals have pushed themselves into the right place, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to do it so we have 5 agates on, and then I'll show you how to finish it. Okay, so I have my 5th bead on. Now we're just going to finish it off. We're going to do 2 more of the silver beads, 1 on each one. And then we're going to put 2 bicones on each one. Find that hole. And then we are going to put 1 bicone over both wires. That will finish off our end like this. And then we need a closure bead of your choice. If you want to do wire guardians, do the wire guardian method. It's hard enough for me to do it with 1 wire, let alone 2. I'm going to use a clamshell. I prefer clamshells anyway. So for me, that's a no-brainer. And pick up my little crimp bead over each of these wires. Alright, now you can see everything's kind of gappy here right now, but when I get in here with my pliers and grasp my little crimp bead, I'm just going to push everything down before I squeeze. Oops, I think I got my clamshell in that. There we go. I got more of my clamshell than I did of my crimp bead, so it wasn't real tight. All right. And now I'm just going to put on a second crimp bead. Find one with a little bit bigger hole, I think. Again, get it over both ends. Slide it down there and get down there. Get it right down next to the other one. Crimp it as well. Nope, I didn't even get it. These pliers, you know what? Let me use these ones. These ones work so much better. There we go. That's way better. Trim that off. I have a tendency to just use whatever's in my hand instead of using the proper tools. Alright, close that up. That side is done. Now we'll do the other side. So I'm going to do the other side the exact same way. I'm going to take my wire, bend it in half, bring up my end, put my fold through from the front, open it up, grab my wires and pull them through it, create my lark's head knot, and start beading just like I did before. 1 bicone, over the both of them, 2 bicones on each one, picking up cat hair. 1 silver bead on each one. I'm just going to grab a crimp bead. And then my agate bead. I've never tried doing this with a bead cap on each side, but I bet that would be really pretty too. Might try that sometime. course, they'd be on the outside of your bead, not in the inside bracelet part, but out here. But it'd be really cute, I think. I don't know, maybe not. The bead might be in the way. Might not work. It was a thought. And there we go. We'll just keep on going. I'll be right back. Okay, so we are just about done here. Got my 2 silver beads on. Now I'm going to put on my 2 bicones. Well, my 4 bicones, 2 on each side. That green cord and that green bead are so similar in color. I'm having a hard time getting it through the hole of the bicone. Alright, now 1 on this side, 2 on this side actually. And one more bicone. So there's this. And I need another clamshell. I'll open it up. Put it on my 2 wires with the cup sides facing out. Just like that. And pick up a crimp bead in both wires. Maybe I can get both at once. Would that be something? Oh, it did. That doesn't happen for me very often. Alright, make sure my wires are all pulled up into place. One of them looks a little out of place, so I'm not sure which one it is. Must be that one. There we go. That's better. Grip that little bead and squish. Wow. Both of them went right on there. Trim them off. Now you could choose at this point to put, length of chain as your, for extra length, or do what I'm going to do, which is just add a couple of jump rings like I did on the other one. You could use a toggle clasp, a magnetic clasp, pretty much anything at this point. But again, I'm just going to use a lobster clasp. On this one I am going to hang a little charm. Found these jump rings in my stash, and they are so much better than the ones I've been using. They actually have a clear opening and closing on them, which has been such a game changer. Do I want to put it on this one or the other end? I kind of think I want to put it right on here with my lobster. Let's see. Might be too much on there. I think it will be fine. Yeah, perfect. Whoop, get back here, you. Unfortunately, this package of jump rings was like, I don't know, maybe 20 jump rings. It wasn't nearly enough. Whereas my other package of really bad ones was like a package of 1,000, which is probably why they're junky ones to begin with, because, you get that many in a bulk package. Usually they're not top quality. So there's that. Let the charm dangle. And there. a little big, I think. I think for me anyway, I would not put that much space on it. Let's see how big it measures out to. May not be, may just look it. So the end of lobster, yeah, this is about 8 inches with the 2 chains. So if I went with a toggle clasp, or yeah, it's 8 inches all the way to the last link. I would probably go with maybe a toggle clasp. It would shorten that up a lot. Or yep, just use one ring here and a smaller lobster clasp. I mean, there's ways you can get around making it a little smaller. I could have always gone with one less bead, made the whole thing smaller, and then just use more extension chain in the center. But I think overall I would keep it like this and just eliminate so much linkage. Adjust it in the linkage section. But it's very, very pretty. Get some of this junk out of the way so you can actually see. I rather like it in the green. Has a little bit of a watch look. So there's that. There is number 2 down. Alright, now for the memory wire one. Memory wire is pretty easy to work with. The worst part of memory wire is trying to get your strands to line up. If you're doing something with a pattern that you want to line up in them, there is a tool called the magic rods that are made by Misty Moon Creations, and they would help with that. Mine are not. I just want mine to look like 3 separate strands, and for me I just bead until I get to the end of the strand and where it meets up with the next one, and then continue the next one until it meets up with the next one, and so on and so forth. So for that 3-strand bracelet, I'm going to cut off a little over, generally I do like 3.5 loops. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go up to the number 4 here a little bit. I use my junky old cutters because I don't have memory wire cutters. Never have. I just use my old cutters. And I'm going to roll one end, if I can get my pliers untangled from all my beading wire that has uncoiled on me. There we go. Grab the very end of it, roll it in. Some people roll out, some people roll in. You can do whatever works for you, whichever way you want to go with it. I like to roll it in. I want to make sure that little point is inside, not hanging out off the outside. I want it to line up. There we go. That's better. And so my coils are, one coil is done again with these Indian agates, again using the silver beads, and in this one I brought out 8mm bicones in this really pretty greenish blue AB. It has like a yellow, green, blue flash to it. It's really pretty. And I think I made a knot. I did. All right, let's undo that. And we'll just unfurl a bunch of them. Let me see what my pattern was here for you. So my pattern was 2 silver beads, a bicone, an agate, a bicone, and then I went 3 silver beads, and I'm thinking that the reason why there was 2 on the end was a space thing. And then I just repeated this pattern over and over until I got all the way around my bracelet. So this is where I ended. Maybe it wasn't a design thing. Maybe there really is a third one there. It just somehow slipped. I did too. It slipped. So it's 3 on the end. better close that loop up a little tighter, I guess. Yeah, so anyway, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sections of the agate and bicone with 3 beads starting on one end and ending on the other. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna have to get out another one of those. I did say 7, correct? What did I just do with them? Losing everything on myself. There we go. So this with the 3 silver beads in between each one and at the end. So I'm going to wire that one all up, and that will be our first row. Again, just getting the beads in there. Make sure we have the right configuration here. So this is what we've got, and I'm going to do that on my memory wire, and I'll be right back. All right, I am almost all the way around. I've got 3 more silver beads. One more crystal and agate section. And then my last 3 beads. I keep picking up cat hair. My hands are all fuzz. Alright, so now we are all the way around with row 1. Before I do anything else, I'm going to add a charm in. I'm just going to put it in there randomly. So I'm just going to take a jump ring, just one of my little charms, doesn't even matter which one. I think I'm going to put it kind of a third of the way up, and I'm going to pop it right in between these silver beads, I guess, because that's where I grabbed. No other reason other than that. And try to get these back in place again. And then we have that. All right. Now row number 2 is using this beautiful African turquoise. They are African turquoise jasper. So yeah, these are gorgeous. These are 10 millimeter. This cord is tough. And I'm just going to pull off a bunch of them. I can't remember how many I need for this. I'll count them though. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And in this one, all I'm going to do is add these little saucer beads. Between each one. So that's 10 of them, because I have 11 beads, so there's going to be 10 saucer beads in between. And those don't go there. So I'm going to start with an African jasper, African turquoise jasper, whatever you want to call it. Put that on, put on a spacer, put on another African turquoise, and another spacer, and I'm literally, that's all I'm going to do until I get back around. Alright, and then my last one. That was pretty easy. That was super quick. And that brings me around again to the front. And for some reason it's not lining up like it's supposed to. Oh, there it goes. I just didn't have my wires on top of each other. So again, I'm going to pick a spot on this one. I'm going to pick right here and add another charm. I can't find the opening on it. There we go. My goal is to have them somewhat quarterly. One will end on the wire end, which is right here. So the other one will be kind of over here somewhere, and they'll be somewhat across from each other in quarters. Thereabouts. No real rhyme or reason to it. So I'm going to set that aside for a minute. And our very last round is going back to the Indian agate. And it's just going to be 2 Indian agate, a crystal, 2 Indian agate, a crystal. So it's going to have a repeat of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections of the Indian agate and crystals on it. So let me see if I can find 16 more of these Indian agates that are not pink or whatever. I'm kind of running out of green here. What do we have? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Good enough. And then we need some more of those crystal icons, which I keep setting down somewhere and losing. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, let's finish this up. So it's just a crystal, 2 agates, crystal, 2 agates, crystal, 2 agates, until we get back around the loop. These Indian agates are such pretty beads. Actually, I love the African turquoise beads, so some of those are, some of those beads are just gorgeous in that bunch. Like this one right here. I absolutely love that one. I think it's so pretty. And we are almost there. This one here actually looks a little bit like tree agate. Just doesn't have the white in it. All right, last one. So let's figure out where we want to put the last charm. Get this whole thing stacked back up the way it stacks. All right, if I put my... Do I want it there? I think I want it right over here. Sure, why not? Again, no real rhyme or reason to them. Just didn't want them to cluster up next to each other. So I'm just going to pop it right in here. And it is done. So now all I need to do is make sure all my beads are down. Make sure they're all down there. Cut this off right about there. Save that for earrings. Roll this one under. Whoops. Get a hold of it first. You want to make sure it's closed really well. And we'll hang our last... Actually, I want to put it on the other end. I think. I don't know. Doesn't really matter, I guess. They kind of both come up to the same spot. Well, theoretically, they should come up to the same spot if I've gone all the way around, right? So I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm going to hang it from this one, though, just because. And I actually wanted to hang on the outside. Dang it. Alright, I'm going to put it out first. And then grip it. There we go. That works so much better. Close it up, and it is done. So let's try it on. I get it untangled from where I made sure all my beads were down. And then we have it. Very pretty. We can get all these little danglies. They're all kind of hiding at the moment. Need to kind of spin around to the inside and move around, and they're going to be wherever. Let's see, these two ended up lining up anyway, so oh well. I can always move them, I suppose, because they did literally line right up. Maybe I'll take this one out and move it up to here. Yeah, I'm going to move it up 1, 2, I'm going to move it up 3. See? All that. Still don't have it where I want it. I'll probably try to do this and then end up not being able to get it back in. Get there. Come on. Get there. 1, 2. Come up to this one. Get something a little thinner in there. Yeah. So when I set them down, because they're not stretched around my fat wrist, they're almost together, but when I put them on, they're in a totally different spot. Well, they're further apart anyway. What can I do? I keep moving them all day long, I suppose, but I'm not going to. But I like it. I think it's really pretty. And, you know, it's something green for St. Patrick's Day, but it doesn't have to be St. Patrick's Day. You could put flower charms on it or no charms on it. It's a really pretty bracelet regardless. I mean, who can go wrong with agate? Especially the African turquoise agate. Look at that. Isn't that bead beautiful? Gosh, that's pretty. Yeah. So I hope you guys all liked it. Thank you for joining me. I get some of this junk out of my way here so I can put them back out. I have a problem getting these things to stack back up again. Is this everyone or is it just me? It's probably just me. There we go. So now I have 2 of everything. that, right? Yeah, they're real pretty. And not hard, you know, fairly simple bracelets to make. Yeah, I like them. I put the charm on the link part of this one and the charm on the clasp part of this one, but it doesn't really matter. You can put it wherever you want. Could have hung it right from here. That would have been really cute as well. Maybe I should have done that. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might change it. Yeah, but anyway, thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you haven't checked out my Etsy shop yet and you'd like to, generally I try to put new stuff in it. Probably once a week I try to get something new in there, but it's, you know, I had it in vacation mode forever, and it's taken me a little while to get it all revamped. But yeah, check it out. It's Wildfire Jewelry Store on Etsy. Capital W, capital J, capital S, all one word. Wildfire Jewelry Store. These are going to probably be going into it soon, really soon, because, you know, March 17th isn't that far away. And yeah, I'm really glad you all joined me. Hope you have a great day. Thank you, everybody. Bye.